Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my Willys vlog. I've got a new addition to the fleet. I went ahead and picked up a new 1946, new to me, 1946 CJ2A. And that is its original color in red, which is very fortunate, seeing how my 54 is an original Bristol red. So, there's my little scrambler, and probably need to do an update on him as well. Replace the springs, suspension, put a 2.5-inch lift on it, and just, you know, getting them done one at a time. The 2A, we can go over that a little bit, but primarily we're here to talk about the 54 Willys truck. So the last video I showed you was me taking delivery, having it home for the first time, and just starting the process. So that was about a month ago. And so since we've had it here, we have done a few things to it. I do drive it literally every week, and we get it out to the car shows locally here in Colorado, and gets me there and back just fine. But it did need a few things, like they all do. That's why we do this, right? That's why we buy these and love on these and get them back to their former glory. So let's see, what did I do first on this? So it was in pretty original condition. It had been sitting for at least a year to two, and it was in Buena Vista, Colorado, and I bought that about a month ago. Brought it back here to Denver, Colorado, and I've been kind of busy on it. We've got a few things done to it here. So let's see here, we'll go one by one. So we did give it the Comet Bath. There's plenty of videos out there on doing a Comet Bath, a Comet Wash on the old vehicles. I don't see any reason to put another one on there. It's pretty straightforward, very inexpensive, and takes off all those years of grit, grime, oxidation, grease, and after that, just a nice soap and water bath. Let that dry, and then I did do a linseed oil treatment on it. So again, a lot of videos on the linseed oil treatments out there. This one, I didn't go too much on it. I didn't want the high gloss on it, but as you can see, compared to the previous video, the red is really nice. It came out just like I expected it to. Probably even better than I expected it to come out. So on the front grille, the 3 horizontal bars, they were also painted red from a long time ago. And I was going to go ahead and sand those down. So I did. I took the flat wheel to it, and lo and behold, underneath it was the original white, like an ivory white. And the lower 2 horizontals didn't really get to save too much of the white. The top piece I did save quite a bit of the white, and I kind of liked that look. You know, I didn't want to. This thing is not a showpiece. This is not gonna end up in a museum. So I really liked the way it had finished, and I said, you know, I'm just gonna clear these. You know, I was thinking about a couple different ways to go about it, and after I had done the sand down, the grind down, took all the red off, it was bare metal with some of the white ivory left behind, a little bit of the red, and I just went ahead and shot them with clear, just rattle can clear, and just to preserve it, to stop the surface rust. And I really do like the look. I did find a 1954 Colorado license plate off of the eBay, the YouTubes, the eBay, and mounted that right there, like I do pretty much all my vehicles. I find one of the original plates from that year and mount them on the front. But with the original bumper, that being a wagon bumper, but it is a Willys bumper, and it has quite a bit of patina to it. I really liked the looks. I tried to match that with the horizontal bars for the grill, and I think it came out okay. I really do. I like it. There's really no wrong way to do these. You know, it's kind of personal preference. There's no right or wrong, check the box, yes or no. It's yours, and you can make what you want out of it. And that's kind of what I did with mine. So let's see, what else have I done? Let's see, Comet Bath. We did linseed oil. We change the grill appearance. And oh, the spare tire. So I went ahead, it had 5 wheels, 4 brand new tires, and I went ahead and purchased a matching 5th tire that matched the other 4. So he's mounted there, and that is as large as you can mount before it hits the fender. So it is, as I call it, paper close. You can just about slide a piece of paper between the tire and the fender, and it's fitting just right over there. And I do love the look of that. So that happened. Obviously we registered it, and we do drive it, so we're legal. And let's see what else. Not too much on the exterior body other than that. The interior, my wife and I, we just went real simple like everything else. I mean, I'm not going to overcomplicate this vehicle. Just not my style. So, you know, the headliner, that's a choice you can make to try to source the original panels, cardboard, what have you. We went ahead and went to Hobby Lobby and found some fabric, and it wasn't expensive at all. You just measure it, they'll cut it to your size and charge you accordingly. And I went ahead and found some spray adhesive. Just looks like a can of paint, rattle can, but it's spray adhesive. And my wife and I, my wife mainly, thankfully, we sprayed the top little by little, piece by piece, and just kind of smoothed it out. And we went with this really cool black and red checkerboard and just sprayed adhesive to the top. There's a couple spots where we didn't spray enough, and it's not exactly perfect, but that kind of lends itself to where I'm going with this. You know, there's really no reason to make this thing any more than what I've done it, in my opinion. And then, of course, the bench seat, it's the original frame and springs. The fabric, I don't think it's original, but it's got a huge tear in it. So we went ahead and found some additional fabric. Now this has a soft side to it, I guess, or a more of a plush side to it. And then the other side is just the color black and red checker. Now the top is not like that. The top is just black and red checker. And we just had cut those to size. Again, you can see it just draping down. We did fix it to the seat, so when you sit on it, it doesn't fall down behind your back, and you know, when you get out, it doesn't slide out onto the street. It is attached to the seat, so it won't just fall out when you get in and out of the vehicle. But yeah, we did those 2 things. I think it's a nice touch. Just brought this a little more you know, finished look to the interior. Let's see what else. Oh, let's see. Under the hood, it did run and drive. Obviously, I've been running and driving it since I bought it. But it needed a carb rebuild in the worst way. And honestly, that's just above my pay grade. It's really not that difficult, but I didn't want to screw up the very first one. So I found a really great guy on the interwebs there, on the Book of Faces, and we met online, and he lives in Pennsylvania, and he seems to be semi-retired, and this seems to be his gig of rebuilding these carburetors, and he's really good at it. Joe does that. So shout out to Joe in Pennsylvania. I'm sure if you're watching this, some of you probably know who I'm talking about. But if not, you can comment below. And if you need a carburetor rebuilt, I mean of any kind, YFW, WCD, there's a lot of them that are out there for these old Willys. He can do them all. And it's, I mean, I shipped it Wednesday. It got to his house on Saturday, and I had it back in my hands the following Saturday. That's with travel and everything. So he has got it down to a science. These rebuild kits aren't much, and he literally takes it apart on the bench, cleans it, paints it. I've got all kinds of really great close-up photos of this carburetor on my Book of Faces, and some pictures that I've documented with it, and it runs really, really great now. Now, the original carburetor did run and drive, but again, there was broken pieces inside of it. So when he took it apart, I was able to see what was broken, and we got all those replaced, and it's running perfect as well as it looks. And also the radiator had a couple pinhole leaks, only under pressure. You know, sitting here would not drip and bleed out dry. But, you know, once it got to temperature, it would start to spit a little bit, and you'd have a little bit of fluid underneath the radiator. So I thought, you know, I don't need that stress in my life. So I went ahead and pulled the radiator, and I'm trying to find a local shop, which there are plenty of, to repair that, because I would really like to put the original radiator back into it. The holes are very small, and so I bought a aftermarket aluminum radiator, and with the price of COVID, it's about the only thing that isn't jacked up 100%, you know, from where it used to cost. I think it was $140 shipped, somewhere in that ballpark. It wasn't bad at all. Nice radiator. So if you can see in there, it's really shiny, and that kind of is not my style, but I feel comfortable with it, and I will go ahead and, you know, get the old one back in there as soon as it gets repaired. It did need windshield wiper blades, and the rubbers were completely gone, so I went ahead and sourced a pair of those. And let's see if I can pop the hood for you without it falling down and crushing me. I'm going to go ahead and pop this hood, and we'll see if we can give you a view of the carburetor, the engine bay. I've went ahead and cleaned up a lot of the firewall. There's that beautiful carburetor, shiny and new, painted. Original oil bath air cleaner. There's that shiny aluminum radiator with the oddly odd shroud, the radiator shroud that doesn't quite go with the aftermarkets, but I went ahead and mounted it anyway. There's just a massive gap in between the two, but you know, kind of my thing. I don't always put them together picture perfect, but as you can see, it's really clean inside there. I went ahead and got the appropriate battery for it that fits in the battery tray. I've cleaned up a lot of it, and so when I go to the car shows and Cars and Coffee, I can proudly lift the hood to the original L-head 226 and a lot of the original components that are under there, and show it off and be proud of what it is. And so that's where it is right now. You know, a couple baths, linseed oil, got the seat covered, the headliner done, spare tire mounted, radiator, car, battery. It's not a lot. It seems like a lot. I'm listing off a lot of things, but these are all really small things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy taking these projects on at about this level, and just getting them on the road again and driving them every week. In the summertime, these don't sit. I actually have to kind of decide which one I'm taking out. My wife's going to drive one. My son, in 3 more years, will be able to drive one of these himself. And heck, we can have all 3 out at once. So, yeah, that's the Willys. 54 Willys truck update. The 83 Scrambler. And then I've got this new, to me, 1946 Willys CJ2A with the hard top, hard doors. It's really neat. You know, I've never owned a 2A. It was kind of on the bucket list. I wanted a 2A specifically for the split windshield, so it can really go well with the truck with its split windshield. Of course, the 2A, they flip up from the bottom up to allow that 260 air to come in real nice, and the windshield wipers that are right on top. So it's really complete. I got really lucky on this one as well, but it does, of course, needs its love. So I need a front bumper for it. You know, that's not a big deal. The tires are dry rot. They'll get me from car show to car show, but I will not trust these off-road whatsoever. I need a 5th wheel for the spare and tire, and that's going to mount over here on the passenger side. He mounts on the side back here. There's 4 holes right there, so I'm going to go ahead and I've got the bracket and of course the original hardtop, and if you know, there's the Koenig Ironworks data plate. Let's see if we can open this up just a little bit. There's a data plate there. It's all here, guys, other than the original seats. These, I believe, are out of a Razor, side by side, but hey, there's 2 of them, So, and they're mounted, so I can sit down and drive it. It does have an original rear seat in it. That's really cool. You don't see those too often. And you know, the floorboards are there. The doors, the windows go up and down. The back lifts up, tailgate goes down. It's bones are really, really good. They're really there. But you know, spare tire, front bumper. It does need 4 new tires to make it more I guess more safe to drive longer distances. I don't have to worry about shredding one of these old tires and finding myself on the side of the road. If you know 2As, that hitch has been cut off and raised, but it is there. It's the original hitch. What else? This came with floor pans, so they do have just a tiny bit of cancer in them. So if I choose, I can cut them out, put in floor pans. Luckily, those came with the buy. And of course, it's got the 4-cylinder flat Go Devil. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up for you. There's no prop, there's no anything. There's your prop right there. This lifts up, and as you well know, it's just going to sit right on top, right up against the windshield. Right there on the windshield frame. Perfect. So it has, luckily, the previous owner, I don't have the original radiator, but he replaced the radiator. Started to modernize the wiring, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. It still has the generator in it. Has not been converted to alternator. A lot of new parts in here, cleaned up. The battery, fuel pump, and that, if you know 2As, is the incorrect carburetor, and that's what its issue is right now. It is not, the pump is getting fuel into the bowl, but it's not passing through. But that is a extremely cheap knockoff if you know these things. So I'm currently looking for a WO, and that will be found and mounted, and will be fired up and on the road. It'll be great. So that's going to happen very shortly, and this thing will be going from car show to car show. So I did give it actually 2 Comet Baths. I gave it 2 coats of Comet, and we went ahead and got all the nastiness off, oxidation and grit and grime and grease. I've yet to put on the linseed oil, just while I'm still working on it, you know, crawling around it, leaning over stuff, you know, laying on it. Really don't want to have that linseed oil just set into my clothing if I don't have to. So that'll happen shortly, but I want to get that carburetor done. That shouldn't be a big deal. I did start it on starter fluid, cranks right over. It ran for about 3 seconds, like you know how it works, and then it ran out of fluid. So it does start and run. I just need to get that carburetor replaced. So the 2A is shortly going to be back on the road here. Hard top, hard doors, like I said. Really cool find. 1946 in my mind is the first year they offered it to civilians after the war. They made a ton of these guys. A lot more than that truck right there. So quick information. This is an 83, one of 5100, 27,000 total. The 54, it's one of 4927. Over between 46 and 64, what is that, 18 years, they made over 200,000 units. This little guy right here, from 46, 8, and 9, the 2A, just in that short period of time, they made 200,000 units. So it took them 18 years to build 200,000 of those. It took them 3 to 4 years to build 200,000 of these. A lot of those, but I do like it. If you know me, I like the unicorn in a lot of these things. I like the limited production. I like the survivors. But this guy's going to be all right. And I'm going to enjoy it just the same as these 2 unicorns. So we're going to have 3 unicorns in the stable. They're all going to run and drive here very shortly. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you like the update. Next video is probably going to be a little bit more on the 2A. And we'll go through some progress. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Like and subscribe. Bye.